I just wanted to follow up. I've been here since Thursday, but trying to look at some of these issues impacting both of our countries, dealing with water quality. Obviously, as Commissioner of Agriculture, it's essential for not only our citizens, but also the future of agriculture in our state. And so the companies that I've been able to see in the research that I've seen here, I'm excited for the opportunity to collaborate and bring some of that technology back to Florida, because I do believe that water and environment is going to be the challenge of this generation that we have to fix. Otherwise, there won't be a future for our countries.
Great. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Thanks for the input. All right, next, I'd like to welcome Jacob Wimmensberg to discuss Israel's emergency management practices. He's the Director of Strategy and Cooperation at the Israel National Emergency Management Authority, which is part of the Israel Ministry of Defense. Obviously, emergency management is very important in Florida. Hopefully, we don't need to use it this summer. We have a clean summer, but we got to prepare. So we appreciate you coming and offering your insights.
Thank you, Governor. As one of the Israeli emergency management leadership, I have to tell you that we feel much less emergency while you are here. So your support, your vision in the state of Israel makes us feel much better and safer. But in the times you're not here, Israel, unlike other countries that have one prominent threat on them, have the privilege and luxury to have all of them free of charge in one basket. And that poses some question that we would be very happy to share with our colleagues, friends in Florida. And we have discussed with Mr. Moskowitz on that already, on exchanging information and knowledge and do real things together. So the basic concept of the State of Israel, because we are in a constant emergency situation, the question is how do you cope and how we deal with it in a successful way, in a way that does not affect almost on the daily life of the people here. People used to have emergency and then they stop, functioning. But this couldn't be the case in Israel because Israel is an energetic island in the neighborhood. And sir, you have mentioned that. On one hand, we have the ocean, which gives good things as water. On the other hand, we have some neighborhood that is not so much supporting of us. But even if they were, their capabilities are not that high that we can trust them in time of crisis. So we have to develop ourselves continuity of our business plan. We have to develop functional continuity of the critical infrastructures. For example, the structure that my predecessors mentioned, how we defend on them. We have to develop on this other side of the triangle the resiliency of the people, and they both interchange. If there is quality of function, there is quality of resilience, and vice versa. And above all, we need to develop, but that's what we're doing, trust of the people. Because in time of crisis, people would love to run to Google, they would love to run to the internet and see what's going on, to social media. Would they believe us, the government? So we are opening and developing ways not to fight, God forbid, with the social media, but to use it for the best of the people. So these three elements together create the ability to function regular as possible in time of crisis. And above all, we have not to fight or to deal with the prior event or last emergency. We have to think out of the box all the time. For example, artificial intelligence, how it will help us to manage event. And we're developing right now tools for that. Generally speaking, sir, this is our strategy, our policy, to move forward all the time and to make sure that the people are part of the solution. They're not only clients, but they're part of the solution by volunteering, by using their advices, by using their capabilities, and to see that all of that is not standing in one point. We run all the time. All of that we have to share with friends like Florida. And with your permission, I would like, at the end of this of my words, to say, welcome to Israel. Welcome home. This is your home, Governor DeSantis, and the people of Florida, and we feel that with Florida as well. So thank you for coming here.
Great. Does anyone have any questions? questions?
I just have one question. Is there, during any of your programs, follow-up from mental health? Knowing that emergency times, people are either at their best or at their worst, but are going through a tragic moment in their lives. Is mental health or that type of services provided through the process?
Yes, ma'am. When we talk about resiliency of people, it is divided to different scales. There is the communal or the national resiliency. There is the social resiliency, but there is also individual resiliency. So the country understands that if a person, he or she, is in a crisis, that can affect the entire neighborhood, the entire community. So we open through the Ministry of Health centers that we call them stress centers, in time of crisis, in the event themselves. So people who have some emotional problems or cognitive issues in the time of crisis, so we're not waiting until it ends. In real time, they come to our stress centers and they get whatever is needed.
Any questions? Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Do any other members of the cabinet have any comments or anything else?
I'd just like to thank the embassy who worked diligently to allow all of us in here today and the media accessibility, and also for working with the governor's staff to set up an overflow room for anyone who wanted to watch these proceedings. And I know the Florida Channel communicated with the staff to make sure they could feed this directly to Tallahassee. We're so glad that those in Tallahassee were with us today, and we were able to do all of this using technology. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Well, I just want to say, it was mentioned by Ambassador Friedman last night that I came as National Security Subcommittee Chairman in 2017 on an embassy mission, saying we got to do it, and everyone said, well, they all say they're going to do it, it's just not going to happen. I believed it would, and it did, and then I was able to come in May of 2018 for the opening of the embassy, which is a really special thing. And I definitely didn't think at that time that the following May that I'd be here leading the cabinet meeting, but sometimes these things come full circle. And so I think it's a great way to really, this is kicking off the Jerusalem leg of our trip. We're going to be meeting with more business leaders, but we're going to have the delegation get to see things like the city of David. So when you start talking about, the state of Florida was made a state in the middle of the 18th or 19th century. The United States, of course, founded, in the last quarter of the 18th century. And then here we'll be standing in a place where you can go back to the times of King David, and they will read the Bible and show you from the ruins what they were talking about. If you haven't experienced it, it's something that is really, really impactful, and it really shows that what's happened here over thousands of years has had such a huge impact on Western civilization, on the United States. I think that the values that our country were founded on, a lot of them are rooted, in this part of the world, and particularly in Jerusalem. So I'm really glad that we're going to have folks be able to come out and do it. And so that's going to be special. But also after this cabinet meeting adjourns, we're going to go to the King David Hotel because the embassy time is limited, and we wanted to have our full delegation there for the signing of the anti-Semitism bill that our legislature just passed. Overwhelmingly, I think it was without dissent in the Florida legislature to say, just as we have our educational institutions combat things like racial discrimination, we view religious discrimination and anti-Semitism should be treated the same, and that includes things like the BDS movement. So I think it was really strong, and I think that the people of Israel should know, Florida is a great place to be, it's a great place to visit, it's a great place to invest in, because the people of Florida really appreciate what the state of Israel has done and continues to do. And with that, we will adjourn the meeting and proceed to the bill signing ceremony.